will be completed. Okay, so once I complete this unit, earlier I have also given the PDF. This PDF will be shared and the whole material is being shared and the syllabus is being completed. Okay, so earlier we have discussed about the risk management and the stock market. Now today I'll start up with my topic, that is corporate risk management. Okay, so we need to understand like what is the corporate risk management. It refers to basically all the techniques or the methods which we use to minimize the financial loss. We know when we are running a business, there are various types of financial losses. So in order to cover those losses, or in order to, you can say, take a precaution against that, we follow various techniques and methods that we use to cover up the financial losses. So the corporate risk management also refers to external threats to a corporation. What are the external threats like that are beyond the control of the management? So such as the fluctuation in the financial market that affects the financial assets. Okay, so these are the things which are beyond your control and you can't control them. These are the things which will have an impact on your organization, but you can't control them. So there comes the objectives of the corporate risk management. So the corporate objectives, risk management objective, the first objective, if you can see, is the elimination of uncertainty. Obviously you plan these things only and only to cover the financial losses, to basically, you can say, to secure yourself from the external as well as the internal losses which may be there for your organization. To cover for those losses, you come up with the technique that is the corporate risk management. Okay, you plan those techniques and you apply those procedures so that you can accommodate. Then it helps to control both internal as well as the external risk. See, there are some risks which are beyond the control of the management. Like you can say the impact of the something that have a global impact. Maybe you can say the financial markets impact or financial rates, how they change, and what is the economy of your country, or maybe the global factors. So these are the factors which impact the whole organization. It is not the something to एक organization पे impact करेगा, and these are beyond the control of your organization. But there are something which are within the control of the organization, or you can say at a smaller scale, that maybe that the prices of the you can say raw material have increased because the supplier from which you are purchasing earlier is now quoting a different price. So that is a risk, but you can cover it. You can go and find out another supplier. So that are something within the control of the management. Then comes a helps to define its objective for future. So corporate risk management obviously help you to define the objectives which are there, and you can define them for future also. Okay, because we know, like, without taking the risk into consideration, a company can't process, I mean, company can't tell you what are the objectives. So if you want to see, okay, what are my objectives, then you need to foresee these losses. आपको इनका इम्पैक्ट देख के या इनका फोरसी करके, इनको प्रेडिक्ट करने के बाद ही आप चीजें कर सकते हो. Then is helps to define, identify, analyze, and evaluate the risk. You first need to identify, okay, what is the risk? I mean, is it a internal risk? Is it external risk? Is it something which is going to impact your organization at a very large scale? What will be the magnitude? Then you need to analyze. Analyzing means like what is the magnitude? I mean, is it either it is has a very large impact or a small impact? Then you need to evaluate. Evaluation here means that you need to find out the various techniques, or you need to find out what measures we can take so that we can eliminate that risk, or you can say we can subsidize the impact of that risk, ताकि हम उसका risk का जो effect है वो कम कर सके. Then to know the effects of uncertainty on the organization objective. See, there are certain objectives. You can see a company setup. Okay, I have to achieve the growth of this. I have to achieve the growth of 10%, 20%, or I have to capture this market in the near future. So these are the objectives. But these are always impacted by the uncertainty. Okay, you have set a goal for your organization that I have to start up with a new मार्केट. मेरे को अभी रिसेंट में मैंने प्लान किया, ओके अभी मैं पुणे में बिजनेस करती हूँ ना, आई हैव टू एक्सटेंड माय बिजनेस टू नागपुर आल्सो. But there are certain type of uncertainty. Maybe in Pune you are able to sell more because of the demand, but maybe that particular good you are not able to sell in Nagpur because of the competition. वहां पे already किसी established brand का वो चीज है और वहां पे आपको उतना फेमस नहीं रहेगा, या आपको बहुत ज्यादा कंपटीशन फेस करना पड़ेगा, या बहुत ज्यादा अनसर्टेनिटी फेस करनी पड़ेगी. ओके, so these are basically the importance, or you can say the objectives, like why we plan for the corporate risk management. Then there are certain guidelines. So the first and the foremost thing is, first you need to identify the risk. Obviously if we can't identify, हमें पता ही नहीं risk क्या है, तो हम strategy क्या बनाएंगे? So first we need to find, yeah, you can say identify the risk. Then second is written, know the number. So know the number means what is the impact, then how the risks are being interrelated. There are various risks that are being interrelated, जो आपस में जुड़े होते हैं. Okay, so you need to find out, क्या इसका impact किसी और चीज पे भी आ रहा है? Suppose मेरा raw material का price बढ़ रहा है, क्या इसका impact किसी और चीज पे भी आ रहा है? That way. Then continuously reassess this risk. So these risks are not something that you plan for one time and they will not be there. No, they will be there. So you need to reassess. That means आपको बार बार उसको रीवैल्यूएट करना है. देन कमिट एडुकेट रिसोर्सेज. आपको देखना है कि रिसोर्सेज उसके लिए पूरे हैं. ओके, now I'll explain one by one. Here it is written. First, you need to identify and assess the risk. What does it mean? That risk is everywhere. The success of the business is dependent upon the identifying and managing the risk before it affects the potential opportunities and returns of the company. Like before it is going to impact your organization, इससे पहले कि वो आपको impact करे, आपको उससे पहले ही strategy plan करना, उससे पहले ही आपको identify करना कि क्या क्या risk है जिसके against मुझे अपनी company को secure करना है. So as I told you, to manage the risk, what you have to do is you have to basically identify the risk. So there are various types of the risk: credit risk, market risk, potential risk, political risk. ठीक है? Then you need to find, okay, these are the risks which you can foresee, जो आप देख सकते हो. But there are certain risks which you can't foresee, like earthquake, war, flood. But the things which you can identify, then you need to identify. अगर कुछ global crisis है, तो वो तो पहले ही आप foresee कर सकते हो ना कि उसका impact हमारी organization पे भी आएगा. That way. Then the second thing that is there is know the numbers. So what does know the numbers mean? Risk register is used to identify and rank the risk. So how you have to rank the risk? I mean in the series कि अच्छा इस risk का कितना impact है आपके ऊपर, इस risk का कितना impact है. You need to maintain the register in the series of the magnitude. लाइक जिसका सबसे ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट है उसको आप पहले रखोगे, जिसका कम है उसके बाद, जिसका बहुत कम है उसको उसके बाद. ओके, तो उसको सीरियल ऑर्डर में आप मेंटेन करते हो. देन द नेक्स्ट इज रिस्क आर इंटर रिलेटेड. सो एक रिस्क का इम्पैक्ट दूसरे पे होता है, ये नहीं है कि एक रिस्क है तो उसका इम्पैक्ट नहीं होता. लाइक एक्सपोजर टू क्रेडिट रिस्क may also affect market price risk. दोनों related हैं आपस में. So these are the things which will have an impact on other also. Then is continually reassess risk. So reassess risk का मतलब क्या है? हर चीज अभी like the things are not you can say static, they keep on changing. So similarly market भी change होती है, same way आपका जो risk है वो भी change होता जाएगा. में आपका कंपटीशन भी बढ़ेगा, आपकी फिजिकल इन्वायरमेंट भी चेंज होगा, पॉलिटिकली भी चेंज होगा, इवन ग्लोबली भी बहुत चीजें हैं जो चेंज होंगी, आपकी डिमांड बढ़ सकती है, कम हो सकती है. देन यू नीड टू रीअसेस, आपको टाइम टू टाइम उसको रीअसेस करना है. देन इज यू नीड टू कमिट द एडिक्वेट रिसोर्सेज. व्हाट डज इट मीन? लाइक क्या टूल आपको यूज करना है, क्या टेक्निक यूज करनी है टू हैंडल द रिस्क. यू नीड टू फाइंड आउट, ओके, दैट यू हैव द एडिक्वेट रिसोर्सेज. लाइक देयर आर सर्टेन टेक्निक्स व्हिच आर वेरी कॉस्टली, सो यू नीड टू प्रेडिक्ट, ओके, हाउ मच रिक्वायरमेंट विल बी देयर, हाउ मच फाइनेंसेस विल बी रिक्वायर्ड, एंड यू नीड टू अकोमोडेट दैट कि आपको उतना कैश चाहिए कि हाँ अगर मुझे ये रिस्क टेक्निक लगानी है यहाँ पे, तो वो सब चीजें आपको देखना होगा that the company has those adequate resources with it, so that you can plan for the risk management. And then the next is the review the cost risk mitigation. What does it mean? That you have to transfer the risk. So transferring the risk here means that you are basically giving it to somebody else on your behalf. He is the one who is handling that. How it is handling? like you may be giving the you can say you may be giving them the contract or something. Just a second. Okay, then you may be giving them some contract or something. तो उनको वो आप जो है आपका रिस्क वो उसको दे रहे हो, रिव्यू मिटिगेट कर रहे हो, दैट मीन्स यू आर पासिंग ऑन योर रिस्क. Then is reduce the exposure. That basically means that you are reducing the risk. अभी risk exposure को कम करने की बहुत से techniques होती है, like company employ various type of safety tools, they provide you various type of safety training. Okay, these are basically that you provide the risk awareness in your organization. उनको आप aware करते हो कि these are the risk and how you can basically control them. Then is the assess the risk return ratio. So the company, to get the high return with lower risk, it is one of the guidelines for managing the risk in the business. So obviously that means whenever we can say, अगर पहले आपने देखा होगा before 90s, I mean before 2000 or you can say 90s, पहले कैसे रहता था, people have a tendency to invest in FDs, post office, so that they will have a secure future. Okay, they think, okay, this stock market or mutual funds are not for us. But now with the change of a scenario, now people are like, okay, we will be able to take some risk. Okay, we will take some risk. Let us focus on the returns also. Because earlier, if you can see, there is more dependency upon a single earning hand. Most of the families have a single earning hand, either a father is earning and kids are dependent or wife is dependent. But nowadays trend is like mostly ladies are working in the family, and it basically decrease the impact, you can say, dependency of the family members. So they obviously have the, you can say, this secondary source with them, so they are able to take the risk with themselves. Okay, that is known as the review, you can say this risk return ratio. So that is why people are more prone, okay, they focus more on the return these days rather than on the risk, because they feel, okay, we have a secondary income, we can take that risk. Monitor for quantum of shifts in the risk level. So here it means like how much risk you can basically shift to another party, like how you can do that. Then is create a risk aware culture. So that is basically, you can say, risk aware culture is like education provide karna, or you can say sending them to a various training programs. Then you need to follow up like various types of techniques that are being used by other organizations. Then you need to provide proper training to your staff. Okay, these are the techniques which other people are using, let's move and we can do that way also. Okay, so these are the things. Then the tools I have discussed, approaches we have done. Now there is a process of CRM. What does it mean? Like asset and liability management can define a mechanism to address the risk faced by an organization due to mismatch between the assets and liabilities. ठीक है, अभी वो क्या बताता है आपको, कितना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में लॉस हो सकता है या कितना रिस्क है, बिकॉज एसेट्स और लाइबिलिटीज उसका क्या है, मैच नहीं हो रहा. अभी वो क्यों मैच नहीं, उसका बहुत से रीजन रहते हैं, लिक्विडिटी होता है, चेंज ऑन इंटरेस्ट रेट होता है. सो दिस इज बेसिकली द चार्ट. सी ऑन एसेट मैनेजमेंट, how liquid are the assets, you need to find out, okay, how liquid are the assets, that much liquidity that a company will hold. And on the liability sides, how easily can the company generate loans from the market, like how they can go and basically get the credit from the market. So that feels it comes for the liability management. So there are various types of like objectives of asset liability management. The first is the liquidity risk management. How liquid is your assets? So you need to you can say more liquidity, although it's good, but there are some risks associated with that. Okay, you don't need to learn this, just a brief explanation like why it is required. So it is like liquidity को manage करने के लिए, or you can say interest rate को manage करने के लिए, और currency risk, that are more than sufficient. Now, what do you mean by the business risk, currency risk, or the interest risk? So the business risk is basically refers to the possibility of inadequate profit or lower profit, or you can say a loss rather than making a profit due to uncertainty. So it is a pure loss. Like you are not going to make something, okay, this is maybe your demand has changed, new competition has entered into the market, government has changed its policies. So these are the business risks. So what are the various types of business risk? The first is a strategic risk. So that risk arises because this arise from various strategies used by the company. They may be following some other strategies, because of that they have faced the loss. Then is a compliance risk, because you are faced to follow the, you can say, some rules and regulation. Okay, there may be some rules and regulation which are the new guidelines of the government, and you are not able to follow that, then the risk will be there. Then is a financial risk, operational risk. Obviously, because of the operations of the company, you may say that that basically arise within the system only. Then is a reputational risk, because you can say failure, or you can say it will become negativity publicity for your business. Okay, so you need to manage the business risk. So there are strategies like how you can manage. First, evaluate the risk factor and make contingency plan. You will foresee, okay, these are the factors because of which there may be some risk. Okay, then you need to make contingency plan. Here means that you need to make some secondary plan. Okay, if this thing fails, then I can rely on this. Okay, so एक secondary plan आपको करना है. And then you have to find out, determine the insurance needs. So the insurance need here means that you need to find out what sort of a cover I require. Okay, I mean मुझे इस loss को कितना cover करने के लिए, कैसा loss cover करने के लिए क्या needs हैं. I mean how much cover I'll require. Either I need to get some sort of insurance, or I need to mitigate this list to some other party. Then is the risk management plan. Once you have planned the strategies, then you need to have a proper plan. You need to circulate it to your staff so that they are aware like what you are planning for. Now you have make the full plan. Now you need to train the employees, because if you are coming up with some special machines or some special techniques, then you need to make person aware about that, so that they are very you can say comfortable with the new techniques or the machineries which you have updated. Okay, then is to update the plan. So obviously with the need, you need to update the plan. Okay, just a second. Let me have water. Okay. Then is the currency risk. So currency risk, as the name itself show, currency change होने से जो risk होता है. When we are in export or import, then the prices changes obviously impact not only of your country. Suppose the dollar prices changes, then obviously it will impact you. Okay, when you are into this import and export business. So obviously this will basically act as a risk for your company. So how you can manage that risk? So to manage that risk, there is one technique that is known as hedging. Like how you can follow that? There are proper steps. First, identify the exchange traded funds, like different currency currency providers. So वो identify करो. Then determine the direction, like decide the currency of which country you are dealing with, then calculate the amount, then manage the trade. So this is basically a you can say a hedging technique. So rather than that, you can focus on, okay, whenever a currency risk is there, the technique which we use is basically the hedging. Okay, then come up with that other technique, that is the interest rate risk. So the interest rate risk means a variability in the interest rate from time to time. It keeps on fluctuation. They never remain same because of the government policies, or you can say the government guidelines, RBI guidelines. That is the thing. Then is the riskiness of the return. So the riskiness of a return means that the returns are not always you can predict them. Okay, there may be a change circumstances and the returns become risky. Like variability in the return of a security is caused by both internal as well as external factor. So the valuation in return of an asset is affected by both systematic as well as unsystematic risk. So what is a systematic risk? That is arises from economical factors. you can say external factors जो आपके कंट्रोल के बाहर है, गवर्नमेंट की पॉलिसीज, then economic recession, political instability, anything that is beyond the control of the management that is impacting overall organization is known as the systematic risk. Then coming on to the next, that is the unsystematic risk that arises because of the internal factors. So that may be raw material scarcity or the change in the prices of the raw material, or you can say your competitor have come up with some other technique that are more viable. Okay, so these are the risk returns relation. Then I have shown you one this graph in which you can see there is a standard deviation of the risk on the horizontal axis. Okay, then return is there. So this is basically a technique, like how they have shown you, like if you want a greater return, so obviously it will lead to a higher risk, whereas a lower return will mean a lower risk. So these are the ways. Now I'll cover up with the derivatives, like how we are using the derivative as a risk management tools. I told you in the very beginning that we coming up with the derivatives have only and only one focus, that is the derivatives are being used as a risk management tool. So what is a derivative? Derivative is basically a contract between two or more parties where you can say it derivatives derives its value from the underlying asset. So what is the underlying asset here means? Any one of you? What is the underlying asset? It may be stock, it may be commodity, it may be interest rate, it may be currencies. So these are the, you can say, underlying asset. Okay, so derivatives are referred to a security whose price is derived from one or more underlying asset. That means they don't have their own value, they are deriving the value. Okay, that is why they are known as the derivatives. So there are various characteristics of derivatives. The first one, the derivatives depend on the price of the underlying asset. As I told you, they don't have their own price, they don't have their own value. They basically are dependent upon the underlying asset. Then all the transaction in the derivative take place in future specified days. If you can see forwards and future, they have a future date. They don't take place at present. They are something which is traded further, but the prices may be, you can say, finalized today. So the contract have transacted through a recognized exchange or through adhering houses. So obviously there are trade houses. Then it requires reliable initial investments. Then derivatives have a low transaction cost. This is one of the advantage you can say derivatives carry, that they have a very low transaction cost. So it is a hedging derivative which reduce the risk involved in the transactions. So you need to know what exactly is the purpose why derivatives come into existence. Then now coming on to the, you can say, who are the participants in the derivative market. The first one is the hedgers. So what is the hedges means? Arbitrator or speculators. The hedgers are the traders who wish to eliminate the price risk associated with the underlying asset. So they are basically taking up that risk. So वो eliminate कर देते हैं उस risk को that is being traded. Okay, so investor holding share of ITC company, fearing that the share price will decrease in future, so he protected himself by selling the share immediately. So this is known as the hedgers. Now coming on to the next, that is the arbitrators. So are the traders who simultaneously purchase in one market at a lower price and sell it in the other market at a higher price. So they trade in the two markets at the same time. एक में कम से लेते हैं, दूसरे में higher पे भेजते हैं, so that they can make a profit out of it. Then comes the speculators. So the speculators are those class of investor who willing to take price risk, okay, from the price change in the underlying asset. So when the prices change, they are able to take the risk for that. So they are known as the expertise in that. Now coming up to the types of derivatives, the first derivative that we will cover is the forward. So what is a forward contract? It is a non-standardized contract between two parties. उनमें क्या contract होता है? To buy or to sell an asset at a specified future date. So you have already decided, okay, I have to buy this asset on this date at a price agreed upon today, but you are agreeing the price today. I may ask you, okay, I'm going to sell this property to you on 25th of you can say December, but the price I have finalized today, okay, it will be 10 lakh rupees. So this is, you can say, you are taking the price is being finalized today. Price आज ही final करते हो, but trading आपका future date पे रहता है. You are buying and selling at a future date. So why it come into existence? You can say first is the counterparty risk. In forward contract, any of the party refuses to buy or sell a particular commodity, then the opposite party exposed to counterparty risk. अभी एग्जाम्पल क्या है? ट्रेड रिस्क. ट्रेड टेक प्लेस बिटवीन मिस्टर ए एंड मिस्टर बाय बी. सो बी इज बेसिकली द सेलर एंड ए इज द बायर. द प्री डिलीवरी प्राइस इज 100 पर केजी एंड मैच्योरिटी इज 1 मंथ. ठीक है. आफ्टर 1 मंथ द कमोडिटी की जो ट्रेडिंग प्राइस थी वो इंक्रीज हो गई 120 पे. तो मिस्टर ए वुड गेन 20 एंड मिस्टर बी वुड सफर 20. ओके. ऑब्वियसली जो सेलर है, अगर वो पहले स्पेसिफाई नहीं करता तो वो क्या करता? वो प्राइस 120 पे बेच सकता था, बट प्राइस पहले ही सेट हो गई है तो उसको 20 का लॉस हुआ और उसको 20 का गेन हुआ. सो इन केस बी डिफॉल्ट और यू कैन से रिफ्यूज, सो व्हाट मिस्टर ए has the counterparty risk. Okay. Then is the underlying assets. So underlying assets, as I told you, are the your stocks, bonds. Okay, that are your underlying assets, जिससे उसकी value derived होती है. The one thing that is there for the forward is they are being flexible. You can basically accommodate them according to your need. You can change them. You can say accommodate according to your needs only. ठीक है. आप उसका फ्यूचर डेट अपने हिसाब से सेट कर सकते हो. डेट अपने हिसाब से सेट कर दिया. आप उसका प्राइस अपने हिसाब से सेट कर सकते हो. तो इट प्रोवाइड्स यू बेसिकली द फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. Then is the settlement. Say it can settle by delivery or you can say the cash settlement. So obviously delivery or yes, the cash settlement means you may specify, okay, what will be the mode, like how you are going to deal with that. Then the contract price is generally not available in public domain. Public domain में उसकी price available नहीं है. So these are the things why the future and the forward market has come into existence. I have given you certain advantages, disadvantages, so you can read it. It's very simple. Then coming on to the future contract, it means an arrangement between two parties. So here buyer and seller buy and sell a particular commodity at a future date at a specified rate. So what is the difference? They are stock traded. वो कहाँ पे ट्रेड होते हैं? स्टॉक मार्केट में. वो रिकॉग्नाइज स्टॉक एक्सचेंज पे डील होते हैं. ओके. सो दे आर ट्रेडेड इन 3 प्राइमरी एरियाज. कहाँ पे हम यूज करते हैं फ्यूचर को? एग्रीकल्चर कमोडिटीज में, पेट्रोलियम में और शेयर और करेंसीज में. ठीक है. बट वो क्या होते हैं? स्टॉक पे एक्सचेंज होते हैं, वेयर एज फॉरवर्ड आर नॉट स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. ठीक है. I have given you the difference. If you want, then you can also read about that. Then is the one thing that is important over here is what is an option. So option, as the name itself show, that it only gives the owner that they have an option. Okay, they have the owner the right to buy or sell a particular at a specified rate. I mean, they define, okay, I have to buy this thing at a particular date, but they have given you an option. I mean, you can either do it or not do it, but it is not a legal obligation for you to do that. Okay, that is why it is known as option. So the one thing that is there is call option. So what is a call option? Means that the buyer the right to buy an asset at a certain for a price, but not the obligation. So call option is for what? For whom? Buyer को right देता है. Call is always for the buyer, but put option is always for the seller. कॉल ऑप्शन में किसके पास वो राइट रहता है? बायर के पास राइट रहता है कि वो बाय कर सके एसेट को. ठीक है. बट पुट ऑप्शन में किसके पास रहता है? सेलर के पास, ताकि वो सेल कर सके एट अ सर्टेन डेट पे. ओके. दैट इज व्हाई वी कॉल इट एज पुट ऑप्शन एंड दैट अ कॉल ऑप्शन. कॉल में बायर, पुट में सेलर. इतना भी याद रखोगे तो आपको याद रहेगा. नाउ देयर आर वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ ऑप्शन. एक तो मैंने आपको बता दिया कॉल ऑप्शन है, एक पुट ऑप्शन है, एक है अमेरिकन ऑप्शंस. दैट कैन बी एक्सपायर्ड बिफोर द एक्सपायरेशन डेट एट एनी टाइम. दैट मीन्स द डेट कैन बी बेसिकली बिफोर द डेट हैज अराइव्ड. उससे पहले ही आप मना कर सकते हो, ओके, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू डील विद दिस थिंग. So European option are the option that can be expired only on the expiration date. जब उसका date आएगा, only then you can deny, okay, I'm not going to perform this buy act or a sell act. But in an American option, you have an option that you will basically you can change the expiration date only at the time before that date. So these are the various types of the option. So you need to understand only about the call option and the put option, although I have given you the others also. So just to have a brief idea about that. So the main focus should be on the call and the put option. You need to understand like why it has been there. Okay, just a second. Now comes the swap. So swap is an arrangement between two parties to exchange future cash flow for a fixed period of a time. So here you can see that there is an agreement to exchange future cash flow for a fixed period of a time. ठीक है, अभी सब कुछ क्या है, स्वैप भी समझ में आया आपको, ऑप्शन भी समझ में आया और वो भी समझ में आया. तो स्वैप कितना है, अभी ऑप्शन हमने देखा था 2 तरह का है, अभी स्वैप्स भी are of 2 types. The first one is the interest rate swap. So it means you are basically swapping the interest rate related cash flow between the parties into the same currency. So here the dealing is done in the same currency. Okay, but currency swap name ही बता रहा है, here the exchange is taken for the different currency. Okay, one currency is exchanged for the another currency, that is the currency swap. So see, what is the difference between forward and a future? Forward is a non-standardized. I mean, you don't have follow a standard procedure. Okay, ये होने वाला है, ऐसा format है, नहीं. वो आप अपनी requirement के हिसाब से बना सकते हो. But जो future है, since it is traded on the stock exchange, so उसका format fixed रहता है. You can't accommodate it according to your needs. Then there is a counterparty risk in the forward, but in future there is no counterparty risk. These are the things you need to understand. Main 3 चीजें आपको समझना है. फॉरवर्ड जो है वो क्या है, वो स्टॉक एक्सचेंज पे ट्रेड नहीं होता है, वो ओवर द काउंटर एक्सचेंज होता है, ओवर द काउंटर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है. देन फॉरवर्ड जो होता है वो क्या रहता है, आपका स्टैंडर्डाइज रहता नहीं है, दैट इज अकॉर्डिंग टू योर नीड्स. फ्यूचर जो है वो स्टैंडर्डाइज रहता है. ठीक है, whereas you can say the terminologies are being used in derivatives. The first one is the, अगर आपको कोई बोलता है what is the long position, so long position means itself buyer. So the person who agrees to buy an underlying asset on a future date is said to have a long position. जिसने buy का option रखा है अपने पास, उसको हम बोलते हैं long position. Short position उसका ही opposite है, the person who agrees to sell an underlying asset at a future date. जो sell करेगा वो short पे है, जो buy करेगा वो long position पे है. Then is a hedging, a process of reducing the exposure of a risk. ठीक है, अगर simple word में कोई पूछता है hedging क्या है, तो आपको क्या बोलना है, process of reducing the exposure of a risk. So what is the margin? The amount deposited in the margin account at the time of entering into a contract. So these are the things which you need to understand. Now MTM, I don't think so mark to market ऐसे इतना important नहीं है. What you need to understand is LIBOR. So LIBOR is very important, that is London Interbank Offered Rate. So it is the interest rate at which banks can borrow from other banks in the London बैंक इंटरबैंक ऑफर रेट. सो अदर बैंक्स के लिए ये रेट रहता है. ओके, व्हाट इज द ओवर द काउंटर मीन, मैंने अभी आपको फॉरवर्ड में एक चीज बोली थी, ओवर द काउंटर, दैट मीन्स द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ट्रेडेड डायरेक्टली बिटवीन टू पार्टीज. सो देयर इज नो स्टॉक एक्सचेंज इन्वॉल्व्ड इन दैट. ओके, दे आर ट्रेडिंग इट ऑन देयर ओन ओनली. सो दैट इज द ओवर द काउंटर. सो डेरिवेटिव्स का इंपॉर्टेंस सबसे पहले तो यही है कि रिस्क कवरेज है, आपको हेजिंग के लिए, रिस्क एक्सपोजर से बचने के लिए है. देन इज द, you can say the next one, that is there is a price discovery. A derivative helps to discover future and current price movement of the commodities. So these are basically the importance, but my main focus was that you should be aware of what are the derivatives. Okay, I hope it is clear now. So with this, our syllabus is almost completed. Now, one thing which I want to explain you is like, okay, we have earlier covered with all these units. So some of the topic, I just want to give you a brief explanation once again so that we can complete this. See, in insurance, the main thing that you need to understand is the types of the risk which we have covered. That risk are basically, you can say, classification. What are the pure risks? What are the speculative risks? So these are the things which you can say are very important from the risk management point of view. अगर आपको risk समझ में आएगा किस type का, आप उसको mitigate कर सकते हो, आप उसको control कर सकते हो, only then you can have a basic you can see how you can control them. So you need to understand all these things. Then enterprise risk as well as the financial risk. So these are the parts which we have covered in this risk. Okay, just a second, I'll explain one more thing. And this methods, like how you control the things, how you are controlling that risk, you need to understand this. Okay. And one other thing that all of you, I want you to understand is there is a one technique, you can say one technology that is used is known as the value at risk. Value at risk का क्या मतलब रहता है? See, whenever we are making any investment, we have a okay, हम लोग को क्या रहता है, अच्छा इसमें कितना रिस्क है, कितना मैक्सिमम रिस्क है, ओके कितना मैक्सिमम रिस्क रहेगा इसको अगर मैं इन्वेस्ट करती हूँ या ये चीज मैं फॉलो करती हूँ, मैं इस इन्वेस्टमेंट में मैं करती हूँ, तो दैट इज नोन एज द यू कैन से द मैक्सिमम रिस्क जो आपके किसी स्टॉक के साथ या किसी पोर्टफोलियो के साथ है. सो वैल्यू एट रिस्क मींस इट इज बेसिकली अ फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट. ठीक है, अभी उसमें आप क्या करते हो, सो दैट इज द टेक्निक that tells you like what is the maximum risk which is being associated with that investment. कितना maximum risk है उस investment में अगर आप invest करते हो. So that is the value at risk. So you can just write it down what value at risk, and then you can find it out on Google only. Like what is a value at risk? It's basically a technical term, but just to give you a brief idea, it's basically like you need to find out the types of the risk which are being associated. और वो आपको कैसे समझ में आया कि value at risk आपने कैसे उसको देखा. वैल्यू एट रिस्क क्या है कि आपका कितना मैक्सिमम किसी चीज के लिए लॉस हो सकता है किसी इन्वेस्टमेंट में, उसको मेजर करने के लिए हम यूज करते हैं वैल्यू एट रिस्क. ओके. Then a very important thing that you need to remember is the you can say the risk management process. See, every loss is different and every company is different. Enterprise के लिए अलग रहता है, risk management insurance में अलग रहता है, and then for the other you also need to understand. Like for the, you can see this in the risk management process for the insurance sector. First is the identify the loss exposure. I mean, how much exposure is there, or you need to find out the risk. ओके, सो इट इज बेसिकली द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट ऑफ एनीथिंग. ओके, अगर आपको उसका रिस्क ही नहीं पता, जब तक आप आइडेंटिफाई नहीं कर पाओगे ओके व्हाट इज द रिस्क, तो आप क्या उसके लिए टेक्निक्स यूज करोगे, कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते until or unless you identify that risk. And then the second thing that you need to understand that you measure and analyze the loss exposure. You measure, okay, this is the loss which will be there, and फिर आप उसका इम्पैक्ट देखते हो, वो कितना इम्पैक्ट कर रहा है आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को या किसी जगह आपने वो यूज किया है. देन यू अंडरस्टैंड द एनालाइज. सो एनालाइजिंग हियर मींस आप फॉलो करते हो, आप उसको देखते हो कि कितना वो मुझे उसने एनालाइज करने के बाद देखते हो कितना इम्पैक्ट था, क्या मैं इसके लिए कौन सी टेक्निक यूज कर सकती हूँ, जो मैं पहले कर रही थी वो सफिशिएंट था नहीं था. सो दिस इज, यू कैन से, यू एनालाइज द थिंग्स. Then you select the appropriate technique. Okay, so appropriate technique that means will be, अभी देखो मैंने बहुत सारी टेक्निक्स बताई थी. एक, हम रिस्क को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. कंट्रोल कैसे कर सकते हैं? इफ देयर इज अ सम कंपनी where there is a very much chances that loss of fire will be there, then we can have a proper safety measures. Then we may train our staff for those safety measures and all that. दैट इज बेसिकली द रिस्क कंट्रोल. तो हम उसे कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं बट हम उसे खत्म नहीं कर पा रहे. ठीक है ना, खत्म तो नहीं कर सकते. हम उनको सिखाएंगे, ठीक है, लॉस होता है, फायर अगर होता है तो आपको क्या सेफ्टी इक्विपमेंट्स यूज करने हैं, क्या क्या यहाँ पे हम वो इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स है जो हमने यहाँ पे इंस्टॉल किया है, सो यू नीड टू ट्रेन योर स्टाफ अकॉर्डिंगली. Then is the avoidance. So avoidance here means that you need to follow, okay, there are the chances, okay, at night we take a proper follow up, okay, these fire incidents take place during the peak heat season. I mean पूरा गर्मी रहता है उस टाइम में ये फायर लॉस ज्यादा होता है, या ये लॉसेस रात के टाइम में ज्यादा होते हैं. सो यू व्हाट यू डू इज यू अवॉइड दैट टाइम. तो आप क्या करते हो, रात में वर्किंग आवर्स जो रहते हैं उस स्पेशल टेक्निक, सपोज यू आर यूजिंग सम स्पेशल टेक्निक, तो आप बोलते हो ये इस टाइम में नहीं होगा, दैट इज द अवॉइडेंस. Then you can say there is a loss prevention. Loss prevention here means that you prevent that loss by following these techniques, okay. Then obviously when you follow these techniques it will basically lead to the loss reduction, because once you are making your employees aware about those techniques, then you are following those proper technologies, तो वो क्या होता है, आपका रिस्क ऑब्वियसली कंट्रोल हो जाता है और जो लॉसेस उसकी वजह से होते हैं वो कम हो जाएंगे. Then is the risk financing. So the risk financing here means that अभी कोई भी आप टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करते हो उसके लिए आपको फाइनेंस की तो जरूरत पड़ेगी. मान लो अगर मेरी कंपनी है, मैंने वहां पे फायर के लिए बहुत सारे इक्विपमेंट्स लगाए, देन यू नीड टू फॉलो द वेरियस टेक्निक्स, और यू कैन से इफ यू फॉलो, ओके मुझे अभी ये करना है, यहाँ पे मुझे ये रिस्क कितना कवर करना है, मैंने सेफ्टी इक्विपमेंट्स लेके आना, तो सेफ्टी इक्विपमेंट्स के लिए पैसा भी चाहिए ना. देन यू फाइंड फॉर दैट फाइनेंसिंग टेक्निक्स कैसे कर रहे हो. then there are some losses which are very small in size, जो बहुत frequent नहीं होते, very infrequent होते हैं, तो उनके लिए आप क्या करते हो, okay let it be a part of that. Suppose there is some machinery that you are using for production, then you see, okay इस production में क्या होता है, I start with the production but every I produce 100 unit but उसमें से एक यूनिट खराब निकलता है. So that may be okay, ठीक है, एक यूनिट अगर मान लो उसकी बहुत मार्जिनल कॉस्ट है, उसको बनाने की कॉस्ट आपकी 10 रुपीज है, so then you can ignore that. But suppose if that cost is very less, और उसको टेक्निक अगर आपको यूज करते हो कि हाँ ठीक है मुझे ये लॉस बिल्कुल ही बंद करना है, देन यू कॉल अप सम इंजीनियर की मेरा जो एक भी लॉस हो रहा है वो. ओके, देन यू नीड टू फॉलो लाइक कि रिस्क रिटेन आपने कर लिया, तो क्या अभी फिर आपने देखा कि अच्छा मैंने उसको बुलाया इंजीनियर को एंड आस्क्ड हिम, ओके आई डोंट वांट दिस वेस्टेज टू बी देयर, यू एम्प्लॉय सम टेक्निक, तो ही टोल्ड यू ओके इफ यू वांट टू चेंज द मशीनरी देन इट विल कॉस्ट यू 20 लाख रुपीस. So what you will do, so you will say okay let me retain this loss, that 10 rupees I can go for it rather than going for 20 lakh loss. Okay, 20 lakh का टेक्निक आप या नई मशीनरी लाने से अच्छा आप सोचते हो कि कोई बात नहीं मैं 10 रुपीज का लॉस बियर कर लेती हूँ. सो दैट इज नोन एज द रिस्क रिटेंशन. सो आई होप इट इज क्लियर. जस्ट अ सेकेंड. Then the last one that is there is you need to implement and monitor the risk management program. Once you follow something and you do something, then you need to properly implement it. Implementation here means you need to see कि जो भी मैंने employ किया या जो भी मैं techniques लेके आई वो कितनी effective थी. अभी आपने कोई नई strategy follow की अभी risk को manage करने के लिए, then you need to basically first you need to implement it. Implementation here means that you need to make it a part of your organization. It should not be something जो business से बिल्कुल ही अलग है, नहीं, वो आपका पार्ट बनना चाहिए ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का. दैट मीन्स आपके एम्प्लॉयज को समझ में आना चाहिए उसकी इंपॉर्टेंस एंड दे शुड नीड टू
मैम
अंडरस्टैंड. ओके या
मैम आपका आवाज कम आ रहा है.
कम आ रहा है क्या? जस्ट अ सेकंड. इज इट क्लियर नाउ?
नो मैम.
Okay, just a second. Let me rejoin. Maybe some issue is there. Just let me rejoin. Okay, just a second. Give me a second. I'll rejoin. Just a second. Uh, Okay, then we were discussing, just a second, implementation and monitoring. So as I told you, whenever you start, I hope it is my voice is clear now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So okay, thanks. So what you have to do, like you have to implement and monitor that risk management program. See, you basically implement that. Okay, this is the thing you have implemented. You give the full knowledge to your employees. Then you need to monitor. Monitor means either it is successful or it is not successful. You need to follow a proper thing. अभी ये आपने कोई टेक्निक लेके आ गए, आपने स्ट्रैटेजी फॉलो कर लिया, आपने वो रिस्क मैनेजमेंट का प्रोग्राम कंपनी में रन कर दिया, then you need to see the end result, whether it is beneficial for you or it is not. क्या वो जितना आप लेके आए थे, क्या उतना आपका अचीव हुआ नहीं हुआ, then you need to follow all these things. So that is known as the implementation and the risk management. Okay, so one more thing that I'll want to explain here is see, there are two type of risk. First one is the active risk. So the active risk is known as, tell me, retention. मैंने बताया आपको, तो retention means the firm that remains part of a loss that can result from a given loss. ठीक है, अभी वो फॉर्म अपने पास रखता है. ओके, लेट मी कीप इट विद मी माई सेल्फ. ओके, सो रिटेंशन इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट टेक्निक फॉर मैनेजिंग द रिस्क. So means that an individual or a business remain part of all the loss that can result from a given risk. So it can be active or passive. How? Like risk can be retained passively, unknowingly. You are not aware of it. You see, okay, you can't foresee it. You just assume, okay, that may be something that have never occurred with yourself within the organization. That new thing has erupted. So that you can say is a passive. Okay, passive retention. You are not aware of the thing कि ये हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता है, but still you try and then वो आपका risk हुआ, and that is why it's a passive one. So because you are not aware about that, but the active risk are one which you are aware of them, but still you try. Okay, as I told you the example कि आपको पता है कि 100 में से 1 यूनिट खराब हो जाता है, but still you see, okay, let it be, because अगर मैं कोई नया मशीनरी या कुछ लेके आते हो, that is very costly and I can't bear it. So that is an active risk which you know and still want to keep it with yourself. So that is why I'm taking up basically your revision within, so that you know what are the things which are very important and you should know it. Okay, so that these things are like why we have implemented with the insurance as a risk management technique, I told you. Okay, so that these insurance, you can say, we have covered with this insurance as a risk management. Then is the steps. Just a second, I'll explain one more thing I want to explain. I checked in the morning only. See, I have incorporated the Indian Contract Act also in between, so that you know, like, what are the things if you are going for a risk management, like how, what are the things which should be there as a valid contract. So these things should be there, that there should be a voluntary agreement and the consideration should be there. So these are the things you should know about it. ठीक है, अभी इंश्योरेंस का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, उसमें क्या दिया उसने, इट गिव्स benefit to the insured as a compensation for any loss. So once you are aware, okay, this is a compensation. इंश्योरेंस के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में मैंने आपको कुछ चीजें बताई थी, क्या होना चाहिए कि इंश्योरेंस का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट क्या होना चाहिए, आपके कुछ आपको बताए थे ना, जिनको हम क्लॉज बोलते हैं, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. फर्स्ट वन इज अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ इंडेमनिटी. इंडेमनिटी मीन्स दैट यू कांट कवर, इंडेमनीफाई, हम क्या लाइफ इंश्योरेंस को इंडेमनीफाई कर सकते हैं? If we can indemnify the life insurance, if we can indemnify the loss of life, yes or no? Gauri, Rajesh, Suraj?
No, ma'am.
Yes, very good. We can't indemnify for the loss of any person. We can only compensate. We can never indemnify that. So always remember this. Even if somebody asks you, okay, we have indemnified for the loss. No, you can't indemnify the life. Then there is one thing that is known as the insurable interest. So the insurable interest, I told you, like you need to have interest in the party, in the life, or you can say in the, you can claim insurance only and only if you have insurable interest. Okay, insurable interest means that you are in some relation that the non-existence of that person had led to a loss to you. So maybe you are dependent upon him. So that is, you can say, that is why you are not able to face that. सो इंश्योरेबल इंटरेस्ट तब रहता है, आपको इंश्योरेंस का पैसा जब भी ये देती है इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, दे ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट योर रिलेशन विद द पर्सन. Even they find out, okay, who is the nominee. Even some persons, if they have got their self insured, there are some persons who get their self insured before marriage. Okay, and something occurred and the loss is being incurred, that person has expired. So insurance ultimately goes to the wife because they see it as an इंश्योरेबल इंटरेस्ट. सो हस्बैंड की लाइफ में वाइफ का इंश्योरेबल इंटरेस्ट रहता है एंड वाइफ की लाइफ में हस्बैंड का इंश्योरेबल इंटरेस्ट रहता है, until or unless there is some clash between them or some divorce or something is there. अगर ऐसा रहता है तो नहीं होता, बट वैसे मान के चलते हैं अगर आपका कोई नॉमिनी नहीं भी है एंड इवन देन यू हैव टेकन अप विद सम इंश्योरेंस एंड यू आर नॉट एबल टू प्रोवाइड फॉर दैट, देन यू आर, यू कैन से, तो वो अपने आप इंश्योरेबल इंटरेस्ट जिसका रहता है उसके पास जाता है. फॉर एन अनमैरिड, the insurable interest lies with the parents. So this is known as the insurable interest. And in case of a husband and wife both expire, then the nominee is obviously their kid. So this is known as the insurable interest. So whenever we see a insurable, we take up any insurance, we see that who is the one who is having an insurable interest. So the one thing that I earlier told you is the principle of utmost good faith. So what is the utmost good faith here means? Utmost good faith here means that both the parties should have entered into the contract within faith in themselves that all the relevant things are being disclosed. जो भी important information थी, that is being disclosed to the both the parties. So being a insurance company, company को उसमें कुछ loophole नहीं रखने, उसको आपको सब clause बताने चाहिए कि okay, this is the thing which you are going to get, get as a benefit. So there should not be any hidden clause. Okay, and in case of a person who is there, suppose you are going and getting some health benefit or a life insurance and you are always and you already have some health ailment, then you need to tell the company कि मुझे already ये problem अगर आपने नहीं बताया, then at the time of the, you can say, the claim, the company may deny, okay, you have hidden this fact which is with you and you didn't disclose this to us, so we will not give you the claim. अगर आपने कुछ प्रॉपर क्लेम के टाइम पे आपने उनको नहीं बताया कि मुझे हार्ट की प्रॉब्लम पहले से थी, आपको हार्ट अटैक आया, तो वो आपकी फैमिली को नहीं देंगे, बोलेंगे कि हार्ट अटैक से एक्सपायर हुआ बट उन्होंने हमें बताया नहीं था कि उनको हार्ट का प्रॉब्लम है. इफ इट इज सडन एंड इट इज नॉट प्रीवियसली नोन, देन इट इज ओके, बट एट द टाइम ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट everything which is you can say of importance to the other party should be disclosed. That is known as the utmost good faith. Is it clear now? So most of the things we have covered in our units that is related to insurance with the banking and all that. I hope the way I told you is clear, and in case you have, I'll share the PDF with ma'am. In case you have problem, then you can let ma'am know and she can convey me, then accordingly if you want I can discuss about that particular thing, or you can say any topic which you are not able to understand, but I'll try to explain each and everything briefly so that you are able to aware about that. Okay, I hope these things are being clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for enterprise risk management, this PPT will be shared to you. So for enterprise risk management, I just want to tell you one thing that is important and you need to understand this thing, that even if you forget rest of the thing, that is perfectly fine, just need to remember this thing. Just a second. So that is basically about the enterprise risk management. So what is there for the public company, or you can say for the private company? So there are various different, you can say, the approaches that are being employed. So you need to understand about that. Okay. So this way you need to understand. That is why I have given the crux over here, so that you can understand like what is exactly the enterprise risk management. You don't need to go into the in-depth definition. You just need to follow this. Okay. Okay. Just a second. So in the enterprise risk management, you can say we basically covered the 4 types of the risk. So those risks which are being covered, first one is a hazard risk. You need to understand what is a hazard risk, what is a financial risk, what is the operational and the strategic risk. So hazard risk means that present at a high level threat to life. So they are something which are of very high magnitude, and you need to follow some precautions so that they are not there in the business. For the financial loss, they are directly related to money. As the name shows, financial, that is something which is related to money. तो ये वो लॉस होते हैं जो फाइनेंशियल सिर्फ और सिर्फ किस वजह से होंगे? आपका अगर क्या हुआ, आपकी रॉ मटेरियल की प्राइसेस बढ़ गई, रॉ मटेरियल की प्राइसेस बढ़ गई, एंड आपका जो कॉम्पिटिटिव था उसने प्राइसेस कम कर दिया, एंड देन यू नीड टू रिड्यूस द प्राइसेस. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स व्हिच आर देयर फॉर द financial loss. So these things we covered. Okay. Then come the strategic risk, the risk that affect or are created by strategic business decision, because of the business decision only. So the strategic business decision may be, okay, I want to enter into a new market. So that is a strategic decision that is being taken up by me. Okay, earlier I am operating in one market, now I am operating in 2-3 markets. So that is known as a strategic risk. वो मेरा एक strategy मैंने plan में किया, मैंने एक new strategy plan किया, उसकी वजह से जो risk होने वाला है, that is the known as a strategic risk. Then comes the operational risk, because of the operations of your organization. So that is something which is because of your operation. So the operations may be, okay, there is a certain shutdown, or you can say a machinery failure. So that comes under the operational risk. So this thing you need to understand. Okay. And like this way, what is a guideline? So as I started with this only today, so that you need to understand this thing. Okay. I hope the things are being clear, and once I share the PDF, it will become more easy for you people. So I think it's clear now. Hope the way I explained it to you, maybe it's a bit clear. And still, if you have any issue, once the PDF is being shared, I think it will become more clear to you. Okay. It was nice to be interact with you people, and hope the things are going well with you. And most probably your exams will be in the July end, or maybe in the first week of August. So be prepared, guys. All the best. Okay, bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.